Left of the box. Hello folks, before we get started, I want to quickly make note that the last few live streams I've done had severe video problems, which I found out about way too late. The image freezes every few seconds. However, the audio is just fine. I believe I found the source of the problem and will work towards fixing it for future live streams. So unfortunately, it means the effort I put into my hair and makeup was all for naught, as you'll have to treat this clip more like a podcast. Thank you for your patience as I continue to learn how to be a content creator. But before we get into that, there was just something else that, again, autistic brain, I don't understand human dynamics. And it really confused me. So last week, Emma announced that she was getting engaged. And in that same show, Sam said that he is not single. Yet all of the comments that came in, like a lot of them were congratulating Emma, but then there were the jokes, but not really jokes about her no longer being on the market and things of that sort. But to me, when somebody says that they're in a relationship, even if it's just beginning, and somebody says that they're engaged or married, they're equally unavailable. Like, I don't understand why somehow there's more legitimacy put behind like an engagement and marriage as opposed to somebody who's just in a relationship without that, documentation. I've never understood that because I see it so much on TV, like with the Bridezillas and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, we're going to get married and now we're committed to each other. And it's like, why do you have to go through the process of spending thousands of dollars for a ceremony just to commit to each other? Like, I really do not understand weddings. Like, this is something I have no religious reason to want to get married. And I don't understand the social reason, because if I'm with somebody, like, I also don't necessarily believe relationships need to last forever. If I'm with somebody and, we're together, I'm going to try to work things out if I feel like it's a relationship worth having. I don't need to be married to them, because I find too, marriages usually then make people feel like they're less likely able to break it off, that somehow they're wrong for doing it. Where again, maybe it's just the polyamory in me as well. I can see relationships just having their natural process. Like, people change over their lifetime. And so when you get married, 5, 10 years down the road, you and the other person might be completely different people. And those people might not be compatible. And it's not nothing that's necessarily wrong. It's just nature. And so why force them through pressure of marriage and what that stands for to stay together when they're probably more compatible people for who they've become out there? Like, some people are lucky enough that the people they change into are still compatible when they grow older together. But I've never understood the congratulations, oh, you're getting married, now this means it's a real relationship. Like, I don't get that at all. Which is probably good that I'm never going to get married. Because I would get so annoyed with people saying that to me. Yeah, if somebody is in a monogamous relationship, no matter how long they've been in it, they're just as unavailable, in my mind, as somebody who is married. Not that being married means that you're committed to each other, because there's lots of affairs that happen and stuff. And I've seen so many people spend thousands of dollars on weddings only to 5 to 10 years later get a divorce. And all I'm thinking is, like, that poster-sized picture they had over their couch of them cutting the cake. Who's taking that? Something that probably cost them $500. Like, I just, I have gone to a couple friends' weddings and I support them and I want them to have a good time and all that sort of stuff. But there's so many aspects of it I don't understand, but I would also hate to be the center of attention in that way. Like, I'm fine being the center of attention. Hi. But for that, it just seems weird to me. Am I like the only one like this? I don't know. What are other people? Because yeah, I don't I don't get it. What do other people think about this? Dark Witch, you mean dating? They also sometimes discount the legitimacy of common law spouses. Yeah, both. Like, in Canada, there is an actual legal definition of common law that is basically the equivalent of marriage. And so even though legally it's the equivalent, a lot of people still view that as being not the same. That somehow common law um, relationships are less than a marriage, even though legally in Canada they're the same. FG, oh, you committed to being in an exclusive relationship with another person, but do you have a shiny rock to prove it? Interesting thing about engagement rings, like diamonds in particular, I've listened to a podcast about it back when I was especially working at the head office of a retail company. It was all marketing. Like back in the 40s or something like that, the idea of an engagement ring and a diamond and stuff like that, it was just done by the diamond companies as marketing to make them more valuable. Because before then, it used to be when a man proposes, he bought a house type thing, like it's something more practical. But like all of it, the ceremony, I don't get it. I don't understand. I wear rings all the time. But like also for me, I wear costume jewelry. The thought of somebody spending like $1,000 on me for a ring that I would appreciate as much as like this ring here, which is like a little, it's like a wood, a tree stump with a little bird on it. I'd appreciate it just as much as that. I don't, and I like stones, like amethyst and emeralds and like all that sort of stuff. I have tons of those stones around. But that's the thing, you could get me an amethyst ring that I would appreciate just as much as a diamond ring. It's just, I don't get it. But just like, here, I'm showing the ring off, so now you know I'm not available, as opposed to actually getting to know a person and realizing, oh, you're in a monogamous relationship. Okay, then that means that we'll just be friends. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Because nobody was saying anything towards Sam. And I don't know, is that also like just a gender thing? Because they look at Emma like, oh no, you're off the market or something of that sort. And they were commenting more on her because she's a woman versus Sam saying that he's not single, and like nobody was commenting about that. When I know, whenever you read the chat, you know there's a lot of people thirsting after him. So it's, I don't get it. Is it a combination of gender and level of engagement? Literally, like the only reason why I would ever get married is a mercy marriage, as I call it. If an American needs an outlet, like if they need to get up here, I could see myself doing that type of a marriage. But a marriage for the sake of religion or just to show status in a relationship, because like I said, if I'm in a relationship, I will try to make it work out. But I'm also not against letting it go if we're not longer compatible or we learn enough about each other to learn that we aren't compatible to begin with. And I don't see that as being a bad thing. Dark Witch, I don't have a diamond with my current spouse. I was given a moonstone and I love it. I do like moonstones. They're beautiful. I'd probably prefer that to a diamond. Like it's just a clear sparkling thing. Like you can get the Swarovski crystals or something like that that are super sparkly and shiny, and I like super sparkly and shiny. Grand Theft Autobot, I agree to an extent. I guess putting a ring on it makes it somehow real. No, to me, as soon as they say that they're in a relationship and they're monogamous, even if it's beginning, then it's like, no, then they give them the space to see if it's right for them. Like, one of the things about being polyamorous, and this isn't true for all people who are polyamorous, I know personally I have a strong sense of compersion, which means that you receive joy at other people having joy and happiness in their lives. It's the polar opposite of jealousy. If I'm crushing on someone, but then they go and end up dating somebody else, if that other person is making them really happy, then I'm happy for them. Like it's not that complicated for me. Like even though it means that I don't get to have a relationship with this person because who knows how it would turn out to begin with. If they're happy with who they're with, then I'm happy for them. But this idea of like, oh no, they're still available because they haven't been married? My dogs are gone, Sandy. I could see you doing it for a Scottish man or an Irish man. If they needed Canadian citizenship, yeah, I'd probably take them over an American. Those accents, ooh, they're sweet.